Hello and welcome back. And in this video, we're going to be continuing our learning for ZStack, and we're going to create another view. And this time we're going to actually create a custom pop-up view. So you're going to see how we can actually leverage the power of ZStack to show a custom pop-up or alert view inside our SwiftUI view apps or SwiftUI apps. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. We are going to start with our new example called example 4. Okay, and we're gonna start with a state variable. Now you can actually create this as a separate view, okay, but I'm gonna create it as an example here. Okay, so we're gonna basically have a state private var show popup, and we can set it as false initially. Okay, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna first create a ZStack. Okay, and I'm gonna call our example 4 so we can see what's going on while we are building. First thing we need to do is we need to set the background. So I'm gonna use color.orange for the background, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a VStack right beneath it, okay, which is gonna sit on the top of the color, and we're gonna have some text in here, just a simple text view for devtechie.com, font, let's say large title, and foreground color, let's give it white color. Okay, next right below this text devtechie.com, we're gonna have a button which is basically gonna toggle the state of show pop-up. Okay, so we're gonna simply create a button, and let's go ahead and create with the variation that takes a button action and label. And for the label, we're gonna use label, and we're gonna say show message is the text part, and we're gonna use system image quote.bubble. Okay, and let's go ahead and set the foreground color for this guy as white as well, and we're gonna set the button style as a bordered button. All right, so this is what our button is gonna look like. Now at this point it doesn't do much. We're gonna actually add a show pop-up toggle, but we're gonna add it inside an animation block, and that is very easy. Just say with animation and provide inside the closure, provide the property that you're changing. So show popup dot toggle. Okay, so what this is gonna do is gonna basically toggle the state of show popup. At this point it's not gonna do anything because we are not using show popup anywhere. So let's go ahead and use show popup somewhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to collapse this VStack, and right under the VStack I'm going to say if show popup, that means if show popup is true, okay, create another VStack, and this is going to be dynamic. As soon as the show popup turns true, that's when this VStack is going to be rendered onto the screen, and we're going to basically have text Okay, so we're gonna have these two texts that are gonna show up. Now, if we use this as is right now, we're gonna see this ugly overlay on the top. Okay, and if I tap on the show pop-up again, show message again, it's basically gonna disappear because we are toggling the state of this show pop-up variable. Okay, but we want a little bit better UI. First of all, we want ability to close this message from the pop-up itself. So we're gonna simply say button we're gonna once again use show popup dot toggle. All right, for the label, you're gonna say there's gonna be a label which is gonna read close. For the system image, it's gonna have X mark. Let's go ahead and change the foreground color as white color, and let's give button a style, and we're gonna use bordered button as button style. Then we're gonna add some padding, okay, and we are also gonna add a background, and this time around we're gonna add a background with thick material. All right, and we're gonna add this inside a rounded rectangle with corner radius of 20 points. All right, now one thing we want to do is look at these white color that's peeking out. We're gonna actually set that by using ignore safe area modifier. Okay, so our background actually bleeds through like the safe area, and then we have this pop-up, and as soon as we actually click on this pop-up, you can see the pop-up is showing up, but it has this like, you know, weird sort of like white background and white label. So let's go ahead and change that. Let's also, instead of using thick material, let's go ahead and use color dot orange dot opacity, or actually, you know what, color dot black dot opacity 0.2. Let's try that one. Okay, so we need definitely darker color, and let's do 8. Okay, and let's go ahead and change the primary color for these guys, so foreground color as white for rest of the text. There we go. Okay, so this is looking much better. So as you can see, our view is sort of like, you know, peeking in the background. We cannot click on the background button. I'm trying to click on the background button. I cannot click on that because we have another view which is actually receiving all the tap events. If I click on this close, that's when our modal is gonna basically close. Okay, so this is how you can actually create a very simple pop-up view in your UI and present it inside basically your views. All right, so there are like, you know, various different animation states that you can do, for example, transitions and stuff. And when we come to the animations part, at that time, we can actually see how you can animate various states, and you can apply that same animation state here as well. Okay, but for this video, we have reached the end, and this is what we created in this video. So hopefully you learned to use how you can basically use ZStack to create these custom views or custom controls. In the next video, I'm going to show you another example of using ZStack to create another control that you might use in your apps. Okay, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.